Hello and welcome to this week's Real Estate Report on the Finance News Network. I'm Melissa Beaumont-Lee. This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the most affordable median prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Victoria. We speak with best-selling property author and property advisor Margaret Lomas about investing in residential property. And in our tax tip, we look at the property expenses for which you can claim an immediate deduction. But first, let's catch up on the latest property news with Lelda Smits.
Australia's premium property market experienced demand and price growth in 2010, according to API data. Despite a poorer performance from the Perth property market last year, the state is home to Australia's most expensive suburb, Peppermint Grove. The average Peppermint Grove property will set you back $4.6 million, almost $1 million more than the second most expensive suburb in Australia, Sydney's Vaucluse. The latest report has shown 212 suburbs across the country booked a median price of $1 million in the December quarter, with 56% of those suburbs in New South Wales and 20% in Victoria. Over last year, houses with a $1 million price tag grew by 35%, while over the past 5 years, homes that fetch $1 million have soared by 172%. API data says more $1 million houses show residents are prepared to pay the price to secure property in premium locations.
This week we continue our series looking at suburbs with the most affordable median prices in 2010, with a focus on two suburbs in Victoria. But first, let's look at Millgrove, a suburb located 75 kilometres east of Melbourne's central business district. With a population of 1,576 in the 2006 census, it's bordered by D Road in the west and O'Shanassy Aqueduct to the north. The Warburton Highway runs through the suburb, with the neighbouring suburbs being Warburton and Wesburn. Warburton is a tourist destination with the Yarra River meandering through the suburb. It's a picturesque destination with mountain views, cafes, river walks and wineries. Millgrove itself is a scenic town often neglected by tourists in favour of its larger neighbour. The suburb has its own small shopping area, including a general store, bakery, greengrocer and newsagent. It has a public reserve and a sawmill. Millgrove originally had its own train line, but it was closed in the 1960s. The railway line is now a walking and cycling track. The primary school shares campuses with Warburton East. There's also a Baptist church. The suburb is mainly made up of 3-bedroom timber houses. Some are made of red cedar. Many homes boast Yarra Valley views and bushy outlooks. Less predominantly, there are a few full brick properties. Blocks of vacant land ready for building are in abundance. There's also a smattering of architecturally designed properties. Some, for example, have their own horse stables for recreational activities. Many refer to the suburb as having a country lifestyle. Turning to the figures, houses in Millgrove recorded the capital's most affordable median price in 2010 of $230,000. 53 properties were sold in the year. Our next suburb is Melton South. It's located 48 kilometres northwest of Melbourne CBD. With a population of 8,800 in the last census, the area is serviced by the Melton Railway Station on the Ballarat line, located within the suburb. Buses also service the area. Melton South has two shopping districts, one on Exford Road, the other on Station Road. Oldest style 3- and 4-bedroom brick veneer homes set on 600 square metre blocks are characteristic of the suburb. There are also many house and land packages for sale. The suburb is well serviced with schools and educational institutions. There are 2 primary state schools and a Catholic primary school. The state secondary schools, Staunton College and Victoria University Melton campus, are all located within the suburb. There's a nursing home on Exford Road that was originally a private hospital. There are numerous parks within the suburb, including Blackwood Drive Reserve, Melton South Oval and Mount Carberry. Turning to the figures, houses in Melton South recorded the capital's second most affordable median price in 2010 of $240,000. 222 properties were sold in the year. Let's now turn to our interview. This week we speak with best-selling property author and property advisor Margaret Lomas about investing in residential property.
when we're talking about purchasing positive cash flow property, the most important thing we have to realise is that ultimately all investors want a property that's not only going to grow in the future, but property that is going to cover its own costs in terms of cash flow. And this is why we talk about positive cash flow. The thing about that is that the myth is that you choose property that either has cash flow or growth, but the realities today are that a wise investor can choose both as long as they look at that criteria that makes property grow. The ability of a property to deliver a positive cash flow is going to depend on many things, including interest rate of the day, but ultimately we should all be buying property that is either close to positive cash flow now or working toward it, because we know it has low vacancy, a pressure on rental yields, and the value is growing now and in the future.
And now to the tax tip of the week from Depreciator, the tax depreciation schedule specialists. This week we list the property expenses for which you can claim an immediate deduction. These include advertising for tenants, bank charges, body corporate fees and charges, cleaning, council rates, electricity and gas, gardening and lawn mowing, in-house audio-video service charges, insurance including building, contents, public liability, interest on loans, land tax, lease document expenses including preparation, registration and stamp duty, legal expenses excluding acquisition costs and borrowing costs, mortgage discharge expenses, pest control, property agents' fees and commission, quantity surveyors' fees, repairs and maintenance, secretarial and bookkeeping fees, security patrol fees, servicing costs, for example servicing a water heater, stationery and postage, telephone calls and rental, tax-related expenses, travel and car expenses including rent collection, inspection of a property and maintenance of a property, and water charges. You can claim a deduction for all these expenses provided they are not paid by the tenant. As always, do remember to consult with a tax accountant or tax professional before making any tax-related decisions. And that's the Real Estate Report for Monday the 21st of March. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Beaumont-Lee for the Finance News Network.